Okay, I call the meeting to order at 6:36.
I know, I'm just saying, go.
Do you want me to say the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you stand up? I can't help it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this meeting is, our exciting part is to introduce our new property manager. But first we have our business that we have to run through. And that's the purpose of it, is for us to do business. It's a board meeting and you guys watch that part. And then you don't participate until we open it for open session or discussion and this and that. So don't think we're ignoring you, and make a note and raise your hand and say what you need to say, but just not till we get through this agenda.
Ruby?
Okay.
Okay, so old business, approval of minutes. The board, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone, or I guess I make a motion that we approve the minutes. Anyone second?
I'll second.
Okay. Vote?
Favorite, I.
Aye.
No nays, so 4-0 approved. Okay, our next old business is the treasurer's report. Len?
I am in the same situation we were last month. I don't have a balance of our money. We've secured the bank accounts. We've changed the signatures over. It requires 2 board members to sign. It used to just be the 1 property manager. That's all been changed. The address has been changed, and we've been receiving quite a few dues payments. Thank you very much, but I do not have totals. Some of the dues payments went to the old property manager, and we have not received those records yet. So I can't tell you where we are in the treasurer's report, but as soon as our new property manager takes over, he will be working and he will be bringing a treasurer's report. But we do know that all of the reserve money is intact and it's all there. It's all in long-term CDs, and I have the dates that they mature, and we're watching for that. So that's the treasurer's report. Okay.
Next is election roll updates.
Okay, so as some of you know, it was announced at the last meeting that upon review of our election rules, it was determined by our attorney that the election rules that we have were severely deficient, and thus we needed to we need to amend our rules. So the attorney has generated a draft that he's forwarded to us for review and comment. We're in the process of reviewing the election rules, and we'll be getting them back to the attorney in the near future. Let's call it within the next week or 2. And then what will happen is the attorney will finalize them, and then the property manager will send out the election rules to you all for review, and then we'll have a comment period at a future meeting where you have an opportunity to offer feedback. So that's basically where we stand with the election rules. Because we don't have valid election rules at this time, that's why we didn't have our election in November, which is when we typically have it. So legally speaking, we are allowed to postpone the election. So at this time, we don't have a firm date, obviously, because we're working on this, but it'll be after the first of the year sometime. So that's the update on the election rules.
The last item of old business is accounts and collection. And Carol?
So we as a board feel that it's, obviously very important that as an association, we have as much information about our, current state of finances or whatever. And so I've sort of prepared a summary to give people an idea of where we are in terms of the collection of delinquent accounts. So we're not allowed to give you names, obviously, or discuss the information of specific individuals, but there have been, there's been some information out there about how much is uncollected, or how much, how many years people went without paying dues and this and that. So I thought it would be a good idea to sort of share with you the information that we have. However, I do want you to keep in mind that the information that we have, we basically acquired it after the recall. So we're relying on information that was gathered or created prior to our involvement. So I imagine that it's accurate and reliable, but that's just all I have to let you know, is that, this is something that was, that we acquired afterwards. So I'm gonna read just a really brief little thing to give you an idea. So here's a summary of the accounts being serviced by SBS Lien Services. SBS Lien Services is a collection company that was contracted by the previous board in April of 2014. SBS was given accounts totaling approximately $121,786.87. So that's about the amount of money that was delinquent. That's an estimate. As of today's date, 4 of those 21 accounts have been reinstated. 1 account will be written off as a loss or bad debt because the property owner was foreclosed upon by a senior lien holder. The loss was approximately $7,523.34 plus collection fees of $1,630.14, which the association has to pay. The remaining 16 accounts are in various stages of collection. Of the 16 accounts that remain with balances, 6 are in the process of making payments. 10 have not demonstrated a firm willingness to pay as of today. The way that SBS works is as follows. So the first step is SBS sends a letter to a homeowner. Okay, it says you have to pay, you get 30 days. If you don't pay in 30 days, the letter says you're going to get a lien placed on your property. Roughly, that's the process. 30 days later, SBS will request an authorization from the board to place a lien on the homeowner's property. The homeowner, 30 days later, SBS requests authorization from the board to place a lien, and the homeowner is advised that a lien was placed on their property. The homeowner then has a certain amount of time to pay for the account. If they don't, it advances to the next stage. So when it gets to the next stage, after about 60 days following the initial contact by SBS, SBS contacts the board to request authorization to file a notice of default to initiate foreclosure. If the board approves this, a notice of default or an NOD is recorded, and the homeowner has approximately 90 days to pay, or the account advances to the next stage. If the account remains unpaid after those 90 days, SBS can set a foreclosure sale date with the approval of the board. If the account remains unpaid, the property may be sold to the highest bidder. All collection fees are paid by the homeowner, except if the house goes to foreclosure. So just to clarify, let's say John Doe owes $9,000 and they get sent a letter saying you owe us $9,000, you have to pay. There's a cost associated with sending that letter. Let's call it, I don't know, I don't have the fee schedule in front of me, but let's call it $200. So now they owe their fees plus the $200. Now they don't pay, then it goes to the next stage. That incurs another $300, on and on and on. So if the board chooses to push it through to the very final stage, which is foreclosure, and let's say in this is a good example of what could happen. The homeowner is upside down, so there's no equity on the house. They've fallen behind on their payments. And as a result, the senior lien holder forecloses on that property. So now we've incurred, let's say, $1,600 in collection fees that normally would have been added to the account of that homeowner who would have eventually paid. But now that homeowner no longer owns the property. And so who's on the hook? It's the association. In a perfect world, it doesn't get that far, and the homeowner decides to pay. So that's basically what happens. And then to date, SBS has collected, I'm going to say in excess of, it's not a huge amount more, but I don't have an accurate number. This is through September 19th. SBS has collected in excess of $15,252 in unpaid dues. And that's the amount that goes to the association. They've collected above and beyond that, but then they're their fees. So that was a long speech. Sorry about that.
I have to do this one.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, under,
No, there's nothing.
okay.
Should we do that now?
Can we do that now? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will entertain a motion and a second to file liens on the following accounts with these APNs ending in 058, 012, 016, and 018. Do you have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? We got new business.
I'm sorry. We're now on to new business, and Denise will introduce our new property manager.
Yay! So I do have the privilege of introducing Brandon Grosh with PMP. He did come and speak to us at our last meeting, and go ahead.
Yes, hello, everybody. My name is Brandon. I think I saw a lot of you when I came out and pitched the community, but I'm going to be your property manager. I'll be attending all the meetings. We're going to do an introductory meeting probably in the next few weeks once we get some things squared away, where we'll come out on a Saturday. I'll probably bring one of my assistants, and we'll do what we call bagels and brews. So we'll come and bring out bagels and coffee and set up someplace in the community, and we'll let you know where. We'll have you all come in and meet us so we can interact face to face. We'll have comment cards, so if you have any concerns or anything like that, you can put those in there and we can start working on those. But just give us a chance to all meet and interact. So that announcement will come probably in the next couple of weeks. We just have to firm up a date on which Saturday that will be. So look forward to meeting all of you, yeah, happy to be here.
Does anybody have any questions?
What was the name? Was it PMP, like
Yes,
property management professionals? Okay.
And I think what we'll do is we'll send out a letter introducing you formally, because obviously 129 people aren't here today, and you'll have contact information, and we're in the process of, you all may have received, you should have received a letter with a questionnaire, and the purpose of that was to gather not only contact information, verify contact information, but it was also to give everyone an opportunity to express any concerns or outstanding issues so that we could pass that along to Brandon. So they're coming in, the questionnaires are coming in slowly, but I would say that, you'll probably be in a position to take phone calls and do all of that.
Once the welcome package comes out, yeah, we're finalizing the welcome package. We hope to have it out probably in the next week or two. That will have my email, our contact information, all that stuff. I didn't want to, put out our phone number and stuff like that because we've just been contracted. We're still in the process of getting your names in the computer. So I don't want you to call and be like, hi, I'm Joe and I live at XYZ address and I have no idea about anything you're talking about. So that's why the welcome package is kind of being delayed a little bit. Once that's finalized, we'll have all of our contact information. Ideally, when you call or email, I'll be able to help you out, address your concerns.
So in the interim, you can continue to contact us, and then we'll work with him and that sort of thing.
We had a question back there, I think, for Brandon.
Brandon, what are the properties you manage up there?
We manage several properties in the Antelope Valley. We actually we manage Ann Verde, Calico Terrace, Vineyards, Madeline Court. We've got multiple communities in the Antelope Valley.
Jim?
Will the dues payment be mailed to the association or to the management company?
So for right now, I think that the association is still receiving dues payments, but we will actually start sending you guys bills on a monthly basis. Upon receipt of those bills, you'll receive a return envelope with a pre-address and everything. You'll just need to put your payment, the remittance slip, and a stamp on it, and you'll send it to our bank it'll be an address in Los Angeles. Don't be confused. Like, none of the stuff, our office is in Valencia, we're not in Los Angeles. Our bank is in Los Angeles. It used to be in San Diego, so people be like, I'm not sending my check to San Diego. But it's where our bank is located. It's called US Bank. It's a very large association bank. And so that's where the stuff will go.
But we'll have other methods, ways to.
Yeah, lots of ways to pay. Yeah, I talked a little bit about there's going to be the online, over the phone. You can come to our office.
E-pay, credit union.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people prefer to set it up through their own bank account where you just send the check every month, and that way I could set it up where I just debit your account every month and you can forget about it for the rest of your life. If you'd like to do that, I have a form. There'll be a form in the welcome packet where all you have to do is fill out and send us a copy of a voided check, and we'll set that up, and you can just kind of forget about your association dues. It'll just kind of come out of your account every month. We'll still send you a statement, so you get the newsletter on the back, and it'll show the assessment, us drawing your bank account and a zero balance, but that's also an option.
Quarterly payments still okay?
You can send your payments as far in advance as if you want to pay a year up front, feel free. We will hold that in a prepaid we'll cash the check, but we'll hold it all in prepaid, and we'll slowly draw down your prepaid. That'll also be reflected on your statement. It'll show you how the year's credit, and then every month it'll draw down when you receive it.
As far as those 4 properties that are being foreclosed on, do we know if they're upside down?
They're going to have liens placed on them that protects us in case they do bankruptcy or in case their senior goes, their mortgage holder brings foreclosure on them. No, we don't know their.
Just wondering if the association was going to
Get in the
bear the
business.
burden of losing
Well,
money.
just to
really don't want
clarify, the lien, placing a lien on the property obviously just secures our interest in that property as far as the debt is concerned, which is different than moving forward with the notice of default, which some may argue doesn't make sense in cases where the house is upside down. So the value of the property is not as relevant at this stage of the lien process as it is when you're considering moving forward with foreclosure. I think we should comment like something
Small things,
that well, I don't know enough about that, so I don't know. Do you feel comfortable explaining that? I don't with the whole foreclosure and the small claims and all that jazz. I don't know.
Well,
We'll leave that we'll get more info on
we'll
that.
get more
But
information on that.
what I was going to say about bankruptcy. So one thing that we learned is that when, let's say, for example, Tom didn't pay his dues for a long time, and let's say he owed $8,000, and he filed for bankruptcy last month, and we decided to put a lien on his house 6 months later. Then our ability to collect that $8,000 that he owed goes out the window. We can collect moving forward, but we missed the cutoff because we didn't file the lien before he filed for BK. So it's important that we adhere to our collection policy, which says that if you're delinquent for, I want to say 60 days, we have the authority to file a lien. So what we don't want to happen, because we've seen this happen, we've learned that there are homeowners who filed for bankruptcy, several homeowners that owe a lot of money to the association that we will not be able to collect from because because there was no lien in place and they filed for bankruptcy like 2 years ago or something like that.
So in regards to that comment, it's my understanding that when somebody's foreclosed upon, the bank takes over the house and the bank sells the house. It has to clear through escrow through the association. And if there is a balance owed, that bank has to pay that balance. If you don't forgive the debt.
When they're not a trustee sale.
If you don't forgive the debt yourself, it won't clear escrow, and the escrow will never close on that house.
That's
until they-
incorrect.
That's not accurate in a foreclosure.
Not in the foreclosure.
It's been happening so far. There's been a lot of homes that have been foreclosed upon that money was.
If it's a short sale or something like
short sales,
that, you'll have that situation, but in a foreclosure, the bank is not required to come back to the junior lien holders. But the association debt is a little bit different than like homeowner debt. So say you let your house go, well, the senior lien holder can't go after you for the lost mortgage, right, on the house that you owed. That debt on your HOA dues is forever. So 10 years down the line, a collection agency can come after you personally for that debt.
Correct.
But that's completely separate
That's
from
what
the
you're saying about the
association.
small claims, right? That's what you were suggesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we can take
So
them
the
to small claims.
association is required by law to clear.
To write it off the bat. So it's typical, it's accounting best practices is to write off previous debt because you're artificially inflating the association's books by not doing so. So, if you go in and claim you've got assets of X, Y, and Z, and receivables are half of that, and of those receivables, the majority of it's all debt that's been foreclosed upon, the likelihood of you collecting that money is very low, and so it's typically frowned upon to report that as an asset on your balance sheet. That's why you write it off.
I have a question. The ones that you put the liens on, are those part of the 20 or are those different?
Yeah, those are part of the 21. Yeah,
Okay.
one, so of the 21 foreclosed, one of them foreclosed. So that left 20. And then 16 of them already have liens. There were 4 that did not. And those are the 4 that we just moved to put liens on. Okay, what's the next?
Okay, I think we're done with that, so.
Do we have more questions?
Oh, yeah, I guess, are there any more questions for Brenda?
What will your monthly fee be?
I don't know, I think, I forget what the contract is, I think it's 14, I don't.
We can send it to you if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, you request copy of the contract if you want, you have to afford to. I think it's like 1,400, 1,412.
I have it right here. Maybe 1419.
1419.
Yes.
Good bargain.
And do you have, will there be operating expenses in addition, or does that cover?
What?
Do you have any additional operating expenses, or is that?
No, our fees are typically all inclusive. Now, there are incidental fees for things like mailings and things, collection efforts, things of that nature, but our fees are all inclusive.
Is there one more question?
Yes.
Who's the law firm representing them?
Oh, it was announced at the last meeting, and I probably should
I don't have them.
send it. I have it. So just to clarify, this attorney is currently working on the election rules, and the attorney is not the way that it was explained to us is that you're not like tied to the attorney for life. It's not like a contract where you say you are my attorney for the next year or 2 years, or we're obligated to work with you. It's on retainer. So if you hire the attorney
What is the name of the attorney?
She wants Carol. She has it. It's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, she
But
has it.
I'm just trying, when you said the association attorney,
We can go in circles, I just want to know.
okay. I'm getting to it. He's not the association attorney. He's an attorney assisting us with matters at the present time, to answer your question. It's Lowenthal, Hill, Schaefer, and Carter. Is that satisfactory?
Oh, is there anywhere in the minutes that state where this attorney is?
It doesn't have the address, but
We don't have the address, but I can email it to you if you'd like.
No, I just thought it would be in the record.
it's in the minutes.
It's in the minutes,
It's
the
in the
name,
minutes.
but I didn't
The name
provide
is in
the
the minutes. I
address
didn't
or
put
anything
them,
like
I didn't
that.
put the address in the last minutes. But you should be able to Google them.
But he is being paid by us, right?
He has received has he received a retainer
We
of
did send them.
$1,000 or something?
Of beginning money.
Yeah, I think $1,000. He got $1,000 to start
Okay,
working
I'm
on
asking
the
because
election.
I'm one of the ones that's paying him.
Say that again?
I am one of the ones that's paying him, so that's why I want to know.
Okay, answered your question. I'm asking you if you'd like me to email you his address.
No, I'll check the minutes if it's in there.
It's not in the
in there.
minutes. But you
Just
can,
the
you can,
But the
you can just Google it online.
The names.
Will the minutes be posted on homeowners website?
Yes, so
We were gonna talk to Brandon about that after.
okay, that's on the agenda, so we will get to that.
Yeah, we will make them available in some point. Okay, next item of new business, street sweeping. Lynn?
We are gonna have the streets swept on Thursday in the morning, so please do not have your cars in the driveway. We are also
In
in
the
the
street.
street. Okay, wait, okay. Please
We're
do
not having
not have,
driveways swept.
please do not have your cars in the street on Thursday morning this week. We are very close to signing a contract for permanent street sweeping. We have gotten bids and we have a low bidder. We just haven't signed anything yet. We're going to change the dates at their recommendation to the first and third Tuesdays. And the reason for that is because the trash comes through on Monday and sometimes the crows get it. And it's just, instead of it being there until Thursday, if that's the week, it'll get picked up. That's the reason for switching it to Tuesday.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, our next item of new business is committees. We have some committee forms. Okay. We have one application to become a committee member from Stella Walsh for Design Review Committee. Anyone like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we.
Second?
I'll second it.
Vote for approval? Aye. No nays, so passes 4-0. So Stella Walsh is on the Design Review Committee. Okay, our next item is communications. Let's see, we have 2 applications for design review guidelines. One was already approved at a previous executive board meeting, and that's at 41805, and that is to put in solar panels. And then we have another one that has come in from 41916 Montalegro to remove grass and put in granite. I think we had some of the granite up here. So I'd like to make a motion that
You mean
we.
rock or granite? Rock.
Rock, I'm sorry, rock, not granite, I'm sorry, rock.
We lost you.
It's like a countertop.
Yeah, the second time, yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, I'd like to, what could be crushed granite? So, okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this request to put in rock. Anyone second?
I second.
Okay, vote.
I'm in favor.
Anyone opposed? No? Okay, so that, you vote, yes, okay. So it passes 4-0. And I believe that's our only other one, correct? Yes. Yeah. Okay, last time of new business before homeowner comments is announcements. Denise?
So we threw it out there. If anybody was interested, wanted to get security on the gates for this Friday, being that Halloween is on Friday, and sometimes kids get a little rambunctious, or teenagers, I should say. And there was kind of a split a little bit. Yeah, some were for it, some were not really for it. Obviously, I love Halloween, and I want the kids to come to my house, and I pass out tons of candy. So keeping the expenses down, obviously, you know, the security would cost, I think it was like $25 an hour.
Yes, $25 an hour. I contacted 3 companies, and we didn't push it. I didn't get official bids. I got estimates. It would have been $25 an hour. One company said minimum 8 hours is what they required, and we would have needed 2 security guards, so 1 at each gate. Another company said also $25 an hour, and it would have been, I think, no minimum, but that was the cost that we were facing.
So the decision, because it wasn't like an overpowering consensus of somebody wanting security or overpowering that no one wanted it. So it was kind of, we decided, well, you know what? All the comments were everybody loves Halloween. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to open the gates from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That way there's no one that claims they got hit in their car with the gate when they're trying to enter behind somebody else, or anybody gets hurt. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So we want to be open. You know, if you want to pass out candy, perfect. If you don't, just, you know, shut your lights off. But it'll be open from 6 to 9. We'll shut the power down, open the gates, and then we'll shut the power back on, and we'll close the gates, and we'll be back working functional as a, you know, private community again after that. So I hope everybody's happy.
I think this was done previously. I don't know if you guys recall the gates being open. So it's nothing unusual. Again, you know, we want to be conservative with your money, our money, and absent and overwhelming in favor, like she said, we thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if there are problems, though, if people experience vandalism or anything like that, it's imperative that you share that information with us, because we want to be able to revisit this next year. Next year, Halloween will be on a Saturday. Our expectation was that because it was going to fall on a Friday, it was going to result in increased traffic. And in light of some reports about vandalism, incidentally, there have been 3 other communities that have been hit with the same car problems, where people have been breaking into cars. So the concern was out of vandalism, the vandalism reports, and also out of concern for the gates. We had some gate problems recently that we spent money on. And it's not about keeping the kids out or keeping certain people out, or it's really about safety And also making sure that our gates don't get damaged. And we don't have cameras there, so we have nobody monitoring that area. Do you mind waiting until the end to
I
ask
just have
your
a question.
question? Yeah, what the heck, go ahead.
10 years ago, we had vandalism on Halloween. So, the year after that and subsequent years, we've had security. I don't know if we've been consistent with that, but the damage that was done 10 years ago was like $3,500.
We've had security?
Oh, yeah, we've had security.
You've
several
had
years.
security guards?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No,
Once.
more than once.
I remember
Maybe
once.
Like 6 or 7 times.
Mm,
Not since
I don't
we
remember
lived here, and
that.
that's
I've
been
been
5
here
years.
since the beginning.
Yes.
So we used to have
So
security.
Denise has been here since the beginning.
I've been here since the beginning too, and I remember one time security.
There's been a few years where they've been at the gates and they were like, letting people in and,
Oh.
it was kind of like overdone. But then a couple of years, there was a roaming security guard. And, vandalism can be very expensive. And, it might just be, $400 might be,
Worth it.
you know what I mean?
And there were strong opinions. I mean, we got some people that sent us emails and said, awesome idea, do it. This is an exclusive community, so let's not pretend that it isn't. Those are comments that we got. And then we got people who said, we've never had like a really big problem, so why are you gonna do this? So it's gonna be impossible to please everyone, obviously, and the reason we put it out there is because, like I said, if we had gotten an overwhelming let's do it, then it would have been great. If we had but we didn't.
Right, what I was thinking is, not just open the gates like we normally do. But, maybe just have like one car patrolling or something instead of having people.
Oh,
posted
and
out.
that's a valid point. So I spoke with, I actually spoke with a law enforcement officer, not my husband, somebody else, about that, and asked if that would be, because that's something we thought, well, we'll leave the gates open, but we'll have somebody patrol. And the feedback that we got was that if there would be any deterrent, if we wanted to deter people from doing bad things, then the presence should be at the gate. But to have them patrolling the area wouldn't serve the purpose as effectively as if you had them at the gate, because then at the entrance that there's that presence is being known. So what this person told me was that we'd be wasting our money doing that. So anyway, that was something that was some feedback, but that was something that we considered as well. But I hear what you're saying. But if if you guys come back and we get more people who say, let's do it for next year, say, let's do it. So,
Just be on the watch.
it's imperative that you report that stuff because, obviously, if you don't report it, we don't know about it. What else did we have under announcements?
Sorry.
I wanted to do thank yous for under announcements too.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I want to do thank you to Judy Puckett for taking the time she has a big fancy printer and she helped us print some announcements early on to post at the gates. I know that posting things at the gates are not, it's not the ideal place. I know people have expressed a concern about, well, I'm driving out, I can't really see it and all of these things. Unfortunately, and some people suggested we post some stuff at the mailboxes, but we can't, that's not our property. So we can't post things there. And we certainly can't post it, in a neighbor's property adjacent to the mailbox. So, my goal is to disseminate information by way of email and the HOA website and next door. That's really the ideal way. But our governing documents require that we post something in a conspicuous common area, and that is where they are. The bulletin boxes are at the entryway. And by the way, I looked into bulletin boxes, and it's like $500 for a bulletin box. It's like ridiculous. I don't know if they're made out of gold or what, but they're like $400, $500. Yeah.
I think maybe it would help if the only things that were in the boxes were things that were absolutely necessary to homeowners. Any announcements about any other thing, social events, whatever, I think that if you're trying to read the box, you should be minimal amount of information in.
I understand what you're saying, because when there's 4 or 5 things that you need to read, that's a little bit difficult to get through. But in light of the transition that has taken place, it was necessary to post information about the PO
It
box.
wasn't necessary to post anything about a party for Thursday. It's just one more thing.
It depends
That's filling
on,
up the box.
it depends on your definition of necessary. If my feeling is that part of our job is to, we have a social committee, there's a purpose for it, and we're trying to build some camaraderie and some sense of community spirit, and that is important to some people. It is not important to other people, but that's the fact.
Just wanted to say thank you for posting that in there so I could read it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Smartphone camera with Zoom works really well.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good idea.
You mean to take a picture of what's in the box?
As you drive by.
There you go. Excellent idea.
Great.
Right here, so you can
Yes.
I don't use a webmaster for our Portofino website, but whoever has control of that, I try to set up so that I get emails there, and notified.
You told me.
Okay.
Yes.
So if somebody can go in and make it so that they
I'll
get to me,
do it.
that'd be great, because
Yeah. You sent me the
I
message.
see it in home.
Next door.
Next door, but for
So-
some reason, and I thought I clicked them all off right, but I've tried like 3 times and I still don't get it.
And I think we're at the homeowner comment section,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say,
so-
okay, our last
So
item
let
of
me
new
address
business is
that.
homeowners comment.
That's a good issue that you're bringing up, because here's the situation with the HOA website. So, there is no formal training available to us. So like, I just went in there and I just kind of started playing around with it to kind of figure it out. So given, what you've just said, I'm gonna have to call the owner, the company that we pay $500 a year for to give us access to that website, and ask them to troubleshoot that issue, because I certainly don't know how to do it. What was the issue? I'm sorry.
Portofino HOA website.
I try to click off to have emails sent to me automatically so that I'm assuming whatever you're putting in the box,
What happens is when you register, you put in an email, and then when I send out a message, myself or anybody else that chooses on the board that chooses to go on the website, when they send out a message, they click all members. So everyone that's on that member list gets an email.
I went in and tried, I even clicked all the boxes.
We can go
Let you see
back
whatever
and-
you want.
I think it has to have an approval, like, I remember when I
Yeah, but
first
he's
got it.
approved. He's in.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so what
Okay,
happens
still
is when you
didn't
go
know.
on the website, you say, I want to be on the website, you get, an email gets sent automatically to the board email address, and it says Doug Beam has registered, approve him, and all you do is click a link, and it says you're approved. I have taken the extra step to send you an email and say, congratulations, you're approved, because I don't think that the website does that. But that's it. It's like, there's nothing else involved.
You may have to check your spam folder, maybe you are receiving email. But they think,
I'm receiving them from next door, I'm not receiving them from Portofino HOA.
I'll look into that.
check your spam folder.
Yeah, check your spam folder. It may
Maybe we can
think
just do a
it's
test
spam.
email to everybody.
Jim.
On the website, when you go to sign up, when you go to register,
Mhm.
it says that you click the box to register, and that you agree to all the following stipulations.
There's like a
You
terms and
mentioned- yeah, you
conditions
mentioned
or
that last
something?
But I don't know what those stipulations are. Because when you try to go to those stipulations, it says, well, you have to register first.
Says you'll give your house a key.
That sounds like all websites do that. Agreement.
Not ones I signed. But
Puts you in a loop.
I mean, I don't know what I'm signing.
$24,000 a year.
Yeah.
Trust me, you'll like it after it's passed.
That's over for you.
I think Feinstein said that.
Oh, I'll call them.
Okay,
That's interesting.
okay, yeah, Carol just said she'll call them about that issue as well. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Any other
I also
homeowners
want to
have
thank,
comments?
I'm sorry, I forgot, I did want to, so I thanked Judy for that, because she was like, what can I do? How can I help you guys? And that's an awesome thing to talk to us about. And I also want to thank Ray Butterfield, who decided to donate $80 to be spent on, it's going to be $50 for the best decorated house in Portofino for Halloween. and 20 for best pumpkin and 10 for second place, and it's going to be judged by kids. And so nothing's coming out of the general fund. It's all Ray Butterfield. I'm hosting this little party at my house, and I'm paying for everything. You're welcome. Except for the 50 and 30. And yeah, that's pretty much, Ray is awesome for doing that. Nobody asked him to do it. He just stepped up, and that is a cool thing to do. And I want to thank Robert. I don't know how to say your last name, so I always call you Fraka-Waka. Robert Fraka-Waka. And because we are toying with the idea of making it so that people who can't attend the meeting, because I got emails from people saying, oh, I really wanted to go, but my kid has a doctor's appointment, or I have this function, or I have dance class, or whatever. So Robert is like the tech guru of the universe. And so we're doing this thing today where we are recording ourselves talking here. And we'd like to someday in the future, don't hold me to it, because it could be 6 months from now. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. But is it working?
I can watch you on.
So do you want to tell them a little bit about whatever the hell it is that you're doing?
It's delayed about 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. But
tell them what it is.
I can watch it even on my iPhone. Okay, it's called the Google Plus Hangouts on Air.
Okay. You don't have to remember all this, because we'll send you, once we know how to do this, we'll send you something, but he can give you
it transmits the picture live, delayed by 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, it records it automatically on YouTube, so for future
broadcast
drawings, for future viewings.
Okay.
Somebody who couldn't attend that day can watch it months from now. And it's permanent record if you.
Wow.
It's working so far.
And how much did it
even
cost?
though it's such a shoestring
Robert,
budget.
How much did it cost?
It cost. It was $0. It's absolutely free, and I can't believe that such a service is absolutely free.
And then I also want to, so thank you, Robert Fraka-Waka, for that. And
I have a serious problem here. You're liable not to have anybody here.
I
Well,
know,
that's just
right?
it. I was gonna say, that's not what we're trying
That's
to
another
encourage.
point.
That's what we're not.
That's
trying to
another
encourage.
thing I want to really important thing that I want to share with you. So I want to apologize for not giving you more than 4 days notice for this meeting.
Yeah.
Our goal is to give you as much notice. If I could give you a month's notice, I would give you a month's notice. The fact of the matter is that we've kind of been on our own doing this. We don't have a property manager that's been assisting us, so we've been figuring it out as we go. And we had the first meeting at Denise and Dan's house, and we had Sanja. Thank you very much, Sanja,
Thank
wherever
you.
you are. I think you're hiding somewhere. She brought over like whatever, 40 chairs and tables, and you had tables, and then you had your husband climb up a thing to put up lights and like this whole, I mean, it was actually a pain in the neck. And it was really generous of them to do that because we wanted to have a meeting. It cost nothing. We also had all this material that was printed, donated by Sanja. Nothing was, we didn't use any association funds to do anything there. And you guys got those big packets, and it had the CCNRs and all that stuff. And that was all on Sanja, so thank you so much. Thank you, girlfriend.
Yes.
And then, but we also heard from some people who said, we don't like the idea of having the meeting at a homeowner's house. Our CCNR say that the meetings will be held at one of the properties. However, so that it's not like we just decided to do it, that's actually in the rules. But having said that, we do also have our discretion and we can do other places. So we wanted to accommodate as many people as possible. We want to like float this out. Like, what do you want? What do you like? I contacted that little church that we used to do it at. Remember the little chapel, whatever?
LA.
LA. They said, yeah, we don't do that anymore, and we're not really looking to do that again. And then I contacted the polling place where we go to vote, and they said they sent you a form,
Right.
and they said, yeah, we're kind of open to it. And we said, how much is it going to cost? And they're like, we'll let you know, because their board doesn't meet until November 10th, so they wouldn't have an answer for us. So that we could use that place. And then we called the Marriott.
We called all the hotels with large rooms.
I called, is it Hellenic Center? Is that what it's
The
called?
Hellenic Center.
Yeah, that was $300. The Marriott was $300,
The Marriott was
$500.
Well, they have one room that only holds 25 people that they can use for 100, but that isn't gonna work.
Okay, because we don't know how many people. So right now, and then this place is typically $300, but you got them down to 175. And normally they would like cut this off, but obviously they have nothing else going on. But anyway, it's 40 chairs, we get water, and we get the place until I think 9 o'clock technically or something like that. But so this is 175. I know it's not close to our homes, but this is, if you have an idea, if you think there's a better place, let us know. We're also thinking about doing it at Vince's at one point. They have those rooms that you reserve for like birthday parties or whatever. If you guys went to the meet and greet for the recall, we had it there, you might recall. But basically it's a room about this size. And I think the cost,
$100.
was it $100?
Pizza, wasn't it?
Something like that. It was like $100 or $140, $120, and you got 2 pizzas. And so nobody's married to this idea. Send us an email, portofinoestates@gmail.com, and let us know what you want. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I don't know, whatever. And also open to doing it at a homeowner's house too in the future. A lot of people were happy with that because they're like, it's convenient. I just walk down the street and there it is. So that's that. And then I thank Judy, I thank Ray, I thank Robert, and then I thanked Sanja because she's really stepped up. That's my thank yous.
Any other homeowner comments?
Do we have anything in the CCNRs, I have a packet, just haven't read it all, that state how many meetings we have to have? Like,
Quarterly. We
so
have to have
at
one minimum quarterly.
I think that's civil code. That's civil code.
Civil code, okay.
That's what our CCNR said. We have to have a board meeting on a quarterly basis. And just so you know what executive sessions are, that's when we get together and we talk about things that we can't talk about in open session. So if people are delinquent on their dues or, do you have more?
Yeah, the executive session is limited to contract negotiation, staffing, delinquent homeowners, and violations. So those are and legal matters. So those are the only 5 things that you can discuss during an executive session meeting. And so that's typically what you'll see like next month when we put the agenda up, you'll see kind of those 5 categories. Typically don't get into the specifics because it is a confidential meeting, but those are the things that may be discussed in executive session. Typically we'll also do a recap during the open session that just kind of recaps what we talked about in general terms.
What I want to know. You're thanking your day, and I'd really like to thank all of you. I know it's a lot of work, it's all volunteer, and you're going through a difficult situation and trying to gather all this information. Awesome, just awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
Sandra,
Yes. Question, just one question. Have the names, all the names been restored to the gate box and also the code changing? Are we going to be able to see the same codes or when do you think that you're going to?
It's going to be.
Lynn can answer that
Or
question.
did you want to? You're the gate queen.
Actually, the gate queen can't. She's the gate queen.
I know everything about those gates at this point. I've learned so much. We'll all keep our same codes unless you want to change them. If you want to change them, you need to notify us. If you feel like maybe somebody has notify me, or notify Portofino Estates at Gmail, and that you want a gate code change. And then we'll go ahead and put the request in for you, and then we'll notify you when the gate code has been changed. What was the first part of the question? My apologies.
Have the names been restored to the box?
I see. The names that are currently in the box were actually, did everybody get the mailer that was sent out? And did everybody, the questionnaire? Yeah.
We've gotten back like what, maybe 25?
25.
Yeah. So we're gonna, to briefly interrupt you, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So those were due October 24th. So that was on Friday. So our goal was to get all that in so we can hand it over to this guy, and then he could do it all at once instead of like you requested and you requested. We wanted to get all those and get started with all those, and so that's a priority. And we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then you'll get
Barring
notice.
any problems, I mean, hopefully, I'm gonna try and tie into it. If I can access it with the information I have, I'll have access in the next couple of weeks. And then when you get our welcome package, it'll have our information. You can just email me, and I'll email you back, and we can kind of go back and forth if anybody needs updates.
But the goal is to put everybody in there.
At
Because
once.
we can't take people off the gate because they didn't pay their dues or something. That's actually illegal. We can't do it.
Can we decide if we want our name in the gate code
Yes.
box or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I had mine removed because I was getting so many weird calls.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why my name was so popular at 11:30 at night.
Generally, it starts like in the middle of the alphabet, so if your name is in the middle
Oh,
of the
there you go.
alphabet, they just walk up and they just call or push it down a couple times, they
So
call.
I'm very happy
We have
with
that
not
problem a
being
lot.
there.
Oh, okay.
Did you put that on your questionnaire, Ed?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good, because he's gonna get all the questionnaires and he's
Yeah, I've
gonna.
got the questionnaire, so we're
Thank
in the
you.
process of.
Leave
going
leave
through
out the box.
Just put in no name.
You probably
You are
should have.
Three-part thing. Are you guys aware that those streetlights out at the main gate?
I noticed that recently, and I think that's Edison. Did we,
It's Edison.
right?
Say that one more time.
Edison, there's a street light out at them.
No, Edison doesn't.
Actually,
they'll come
the
out for
city is
free.
taking over that.
Well, we
Edison's
already-
no longer
we
going to be
sold it.
responsible.
Okay.
So the city of Lancaster, I think we have to put in a report with city of Lancaster because my husband works for Edison and he told me that they're no longer going to be doing the streetlights. So I'll
So that's not an
confirm.
association thing?
Generally,
Is that what you're
there's-
saying?
It's never been
if there's a
association.
number on the light, generally you could go to just se.com and put it in. And if that's being turned over to the city, there may be some other process, but of all the other communities I manage out in the Antelope Valley, the majority of the lighting is maintained by SCE. And so you go in there and anybody can do it. You just take
I
a picture
right?
of the light
Yeah.
number and then you put the number in and they'll come out and create a work order and fix
Yeah,
it.
originally.
Tell us what's in
we owned
David.
them.
I'm sorry, am I wrong? Was I wrong about that?
As of right now, yeah,
That's what-
the city hasn't taken over the lights yet.
Okay.
He's an Edison guy, so we wanted to get it while we were still in there.
I will get the numbers off of them and we'll have them changed.
But would you do that, please, sir? Right
Thank
away.
you.
Yeah.
Tonight?
Thanks to you. Okay,
Okay, so the other part of the question was, how much is it gonna cost us to do this election reform thing with the attorney's office? How much are we spending on that?
Well, good question. The rules, because we said, yes, the same thing. The rules are sort of a boilerplate type of thing. So, and he billed that, I think it's $3.50 an hour. It's cheaper than Wolf Rifkin, which is the company that was assisting us with the recall. To answer your question, I don't know exactly, but I told him, like, we're not spending like $1,000 on this thing. And he said, no. So my expectation is that it's gonna be like $300 or $350.
We are required by civil code
But
to have
we're
election
required to
rules.
have them, so it's not,
Right.
it is
Didn't we have
necessary.
insurance?
We had election rules that were half of a page long, and if you, actually David Sterling is a good resource. If you Google it, it'll tell you what our election rules are supposed to consist of. And
Because I know there was like CCNRs, and there was bylaws. and-
Yeah, but there were no
all kinds
election,
of things.
But we
no
had-
real election rules.
Right.
during the recall, we had them examined by the attorney that we hired, and he said they're extremely deficient. So that's kind of our first thing, is to
That's
get
kind of
that
what started
straight,
it.
because as soon as we get that straight, then we'll proceed with an election. We don't want to follow along using something
Right.
that is
Property
deficient.
manager usually handles that, right?
We don't create
Right,
election
but you
rules.
usually, run.
We'll facilitate the election based on the election rules that are published. A lot of associations have minor differences in their election rules, so depending on what those rules state, we will facilitate that for free.
Are those election rules required to be passed by the homeowners or just the board?
So what's gonna happen is, so we're he sent us the rules, and we're looking at them, and we're like, this is kind of wordy, is there a way you could reword this so it's a little bit more in plain English? And then we send it back to him. Then he's gonna come back and say, okay, it goes out to you all, a 30-day period for you all to review. And then there's a comment, like you guys can comment, feedback, whatever. And then we make a motion to approve
Then we
them,
have
and
another
then
board meeting.
they get like legit, then they become rules. That's a process for any rule, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Do we still have 5 board members?
Yeah,
Yes.
good
Richard
question.
Battle.
So he sent me a text message saying that he had a family emergency and he couldn't make it. But yeah,
I
Richard
just
for
didn't
sure.
know. Nobody
Yeah.
said anything.
Yeah, and I forgot, sorry.
Thinking what you.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, he went to
he's
my
waiting at
house.
your
He was
house.
confused.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, do you guys have any more concerns? Questions or concerns? No?
Yeah, I do. I have a letter for board members that I would like you to record that you're receiving.
Okay.
Just stand in front of the camera, Diane.
I don't get one?
No,
Richard, does he get one?
you know what it's about.
No, I don't. What is it about?
I can discuss it with you when you.
Should we open them later?
Okay.
As Dawn said, when she made art with our records and all of that?
No.
No?
Is there some
Have
legal
any
fee
of
that you require that?
old board members agreed to give you any of their records?
The prior board members, as communicated through Dawn, indicated that they don't want to be contacted regarding anything.
But if they
So-
have our records, shouldn't they be
We're doing
given
everything.
to the new board?
Well, we're doing everything
Should
we
they?
can.
Yeah, they should, but I mean,
Don's contract gives her 2 months, 60 days, something like that, to turn the records over to the new property manager. That's what her contract states.
that's incorrect.
It's-
Um,
Well, read the contract.
I have read it.
Okay, what does it say?
I'm trying to tell you.
They just asked you and you said you didn't know. So we.
You asked me when she's going to hand them over. I said, I don't know when she's going to hand them over.
When does she-
We're
But I can
hoping,
tell you,
we're hoping to
I'm
have
going to
them.
answer the question.
Because Don's not a
Because
property
this is
manager,
our president, that's why.
so.
So,
Don's the one that.
So, and as far as
Has
the
a
former board is
contract.
concerned, they don't have records, they don't keep records like that. Those are personal people's records, the property manager is not able to keep them.
so to answer your question, Dawn has not indicated what she's going to give us, when she's going to give us anything. She had at one point said that she was going to drop off a box of, was it property? A box of
Portofino
stuff?
property.
Property. She said she was going to FedEx it yesterday, and then
It was supposed to go out today. I'm supposed to hopefully get it tomorrow.
Well, wouldn't it be appropriate to go to the board instead of a property manager? Shouldn't it go straight to him?
allow me to finish answering the question. So she said that she was going to FedEx it, and then she said she was sick.
She was
And then
sick.
that she was going to send it later. So what we're getting, I don't know. When we're getting it, I don't know. What her contract says, you're welcome to see it. I'll send it to you. You can read it. I had an attorney look it over. The attorney said that the contract is not valid. It's not valid. That's not an appropriate word. It's not enforceable. We request our information. We're entitled to our information. So you know what, that may be a discussion for legal minds. I'm not one. All I can tell you is that the contract, as I understand it, says that she has 90 days to turn over funds that she will have to pay bills. It doesn't say anything about records. That's the way that the attorney interpreted it. That's the way the attorney related to us. And that's all I can say.
So when is 90 days gonna be?
90 days from October 8th.
So she has to.
45-ish days.
If you believe that the contract is enforceable and, then yes. that
But
is-
typically, the way it works in the industry is when an association gives notice or a manager terminates a contract, whatever the case is, the records are given to the association within a week or 2 weeks
Have you
of
been in
that.
contact with her?
No, I have not been in contact.
Okay,
His-
that'll probably make the transition further.
Yeah.
His contract actually starts November 1st. Then
November
I'm-
1st, give her a call.
Just to add to that, you have worked, you have in the past taken over communities that were previously serviced by Dawn. And what has your experience been?
Unfortunately, it
about
was.
that.
it
Yes,
was
we
not-
do, I want to know.
I want to know.
It should go as well as I hoped it would.
Well, no, because you're suggesting that you should call him because you think that she'll be more responsive. That's what I'm saying is that is
I'm suggesting that
Is it important?
Difficult to work?
Absolutely, I would like to know.
I'm just saying, before we, get all bent out of shape, and then she's got, according to what your lawyer said, 90 days. And then you're
No,
saying.
that's not what I said.
According to the lawyer, she doesn't have 90
What,
days.
what did she have 90 days?
She
has 90
said
days
she
to
did.
turn over
The
finances?
contract, they said, is the contract says, and that she has 90 days to turn over funds that
And
she
your
may
lawyer
have.
said what?
And it has nothing to do with records. And the lawyer said that when we request our property, that we are entitled to our property and that that contract is not enforceable.
Right, but she has time to turn those things over. That's just,
Certainly.
Maybe if you hadn't attacked her on that website, she would be more amenable to getting this over with.
I don't, that has nothing to do with whether she does the right thing or not.
As far as the, assuming that board members, I'm only speaking, I don't like to speak for them, I've told you that before. They have nothing. The only thing my husband had is a key that's been rekeyed. It's useless. So there is nothing. So you need to quit assuming or making it feel like they're holding back. What?
I apologize, Dan, that wasn't, I wasn't assuming anything. I just, what I was saying was that we contacted Dawn and that we requested some information. And I contacted Lisa to try to get a key to the box. And she didn't respond. And I contacted her by email, by whatever. I contacted her several times.
how did you contact her?
I contacted her.
Emails, and then I called
Okay,
her.
because from what I understand,
Okay,
you knocked on the door, then your husband knocked on the door, and then that night.
My husband doesn't even, I don't think my husband even
well,
knows who Lisa Morley is.
maybe it was Tom, I don't know.
It was not.
Somebody
Oh, none
came
of
over,
us.
knocked on the door,
Were you
and the next,
Go ahead.
yeah, I do. Well, there's some,
As-
but anyway,
You don't know
the boxes were taken down.
No.
Stop, enough.
You don't know me either.
I'm not.
Okay, so I think at this point,
It's time to adjourn.
we want to
Adjourn
the meeting because it's getting a little crazy.
Anyway, the lock was changed before she.
Thank you for your comments and for coming today and participating, and we hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you.
I would never assume
Property,
that.
how do you pronounce your last name?
Don't keep it.